Welcome back to the Den of Nerds. I am Josh, and we need to talk about this breaking X-Men news. Jake Schreier, the director that just did Marvel's Thunderbolts movie, is apparently Marvel's top choice to direct that film. And so in this video, I want to break this news down, but I also want to explain why I think this is perfect. Like, I'm serious. This is absolutely a perfect idea. This is going to be good, and I want to explain why. Okay, so this comes from Deadline. I read the article, and essentially it goes over how Marvel Studios has been talking to a lot of different people about this X-Men film. And you will, of course, recall that they spent like 9 months receiving different pitches from writers, and there's already a writer on this film, but they have yet to close a deal on a director. And it's obvious that this is a very big deal for Marvel Studios. That's in this trade article as well. Here's a couple of lines from the actual article. It says, exclusive following the successful launch of Thunderbolts, director Jake Schreier might already have his sights set on the next big Marvel Studios project. As sources tell Deadline, he is in early talks to direct the studio's new X-Men movie. It is unknown where things stand in the deal-making process, but insiders say that following a meeting this past week, Schreier looks to be the top choice to take on one of Marvel's most anticipated projects. Michael Leslie penned the script with Marvel Studios president Feige producing. And again, they're mentioning Michael Leslie, the script that they already have. The article goes on to say the studio has been taking its time finding the right person to take over directing duties, as it has made it clear it doesn't want to rush the process. Similar to how it handled pitches from potential writer candidates last year, and that's what I was saying, like they took like 9 months of that. After months of meetings, momentum started to favor Schreier when early reactions to Thunderbolts began to trickle out about a return to form for Marvel Studios. The film opened with an impressive 162 million global take and some of the best reviews from Marvel in years. Now, the article goes on to say that not only was he the top choice after a big meeting last week, but Schreier has slowly started turning down other projects, which is a really good sign that he's probably going to direct this X-Men film. And there's a couple of things I want to say about this, because there's already some people saying this is like a safe choice. There's already some people poo-pooing this decision, as the Thunderbolts movie, despite being very good, is still not doing great in the box office. At the time of recording this, and at the time of this news breaking, the second weekend looks to be good for Thunderbolts, but it's still kind of on the lower track for box office for what you would think a Marvel movie would do. There's a couple of things going on here. So number one, this news is actually meant to enhance the box office of Thunderbolts. And as I've been talking about in different videos and streams this week, you can see that Marvel and Disney, they are hanging their hat on Thunderbolts. So there was an article in the Wall Street Journal where different sources told them that Kevin Feige thinks of Thunderbolts as the film of like the new vision for Marvel, where they're going to focus on quality. And Bob Iger himself said earlier this week during an investor call for Disney that he considers Thunderbolts to be the first new movie in the new version of Marvel in which they focus on quality. So Marvel's really putting everything into Thunderbolts, which is so interesting. I know they're doing this new Avengers thing, the marketing and everything, so they're doing a big push here. Part of the reason this is happening is because Marvel does just see this movie, these characters, and it appears Jake Schreier as their ticket out of the situation that they are currently in. Earlier this week, Jeff Snyder reported that Marvel Studios is kind of changing their plan. Depending on when you see this video, I might have made a big video breaking all of this down, or at least talked about it on stream a little bit. So Marvel's kind of done pushing the overall MCU story in Disney Plus shows. That's kind of over. It appears that the Disney Plus shows are truly going to be side stories, and the main MCU story is going to be pushed forward through film. And within that report, Jeff Snyder also mentioned the fact that the Thunderbolts characters and the Fantastic Four characters are going to pop up in a lot of Marvel movies going forward. I think he was implying that the Thunderbolts characters will be the Avengers in the X-Men saga, and you will see them pop up in different movies throughout the Mutant saga, and maybe even in this X-Men movie. And so now when you hear that Jake Schreier himself is going to possibly and probably direct the X-Men movie, it makes all the more sense. Those characters, he's already played with them. He totally understands the Thunderbolts, aka the new Avengers. Okay, so that's a thing, man. Like, this is just a big sign that Marvel is just committed to this guy, to this team, to this vision, and really to quality. Like, frankly, guys, there's nothing that says they are committed to quality like this. Like, this is a full-on commitment to it. Even though the box office might just not be there for Thunderbolts, Marvel's literally just seeing this is quality. This is what we want to do moving forward. And I would also say that the X-Men are a much bigger draw than the Thunderbolts. So the X-Men movie should do much better than the Thunderbolts movie just on like raw attention grabbing from normies. And so this is a bold move and I'm actually liking it. I think this is a good move, man. Like frankly, I've been a little up and down on Marvel lately. I don't know if you could tell, like things have been a little rocky, but I loved the Thunderbolts movie. I saw it again this week and it's phenomenal. Like I truly think Thunderbolts is an incredible Marvel movie and I wish it had happened earlier in phase 4 and 5. Like that's kind of one of my big complaints about it actually, is that I wish it kind of was the MCU. And it's almost like Kevin Feige and Marvel Studios is saying, hey, this is the MCU. Like they're kind of trying to signal that basically, and I think that's good. It is really important that the X-Men movie pops off after Secret Wars and Doomsday, because I think Marvel's gonna get a bunch of money in those two Avengers movies, like almost regardless of how good they are. They just have so much fan service, so much crazy shit, so many cameos. It's insane. Those movies are going to do big business. But if Marvel Studios wants more longevity, if they truly want to turn things around from where they were at in phase 4 and 5, and technically where they're maybe still at, then they need to carve out a story path forward with the X-Men that is similar quality to what they had in the Infinity Saga. And I think Jake Schreier is a great pick to do just that. He has already shown that he can handle a team dynamic really well. Like, the Thunderbolts is the perfect assignment for him. This ragtag group of super soldiers, and then there's even a godlike character like Sentry. As I was watching it the second time, I was thinking about how similar Sentry is to a lot of the X-Men characters, basically in regards to power and unpredictability. So, like, Phoenix Force Jean Grey is like a Sentry type figure. Hell, Jean Grey herself is kind of like a Sentry type figure. That's why Professor X puts the blocks inside her mind. I think Jake Schreier also did an incredible job of capturing the nostalgia of the old Marvel universe via the Avengers Tower and, you know, Bucky's scenes and stuff like that. It really felt appropriate, man. Like, I loved Bucky's role in that movie and how it connected to how I felt about the old Marvel films. And the political side was very well handled too. Like, it's interesting to see this committee, Bucky being a senator, trying to work through the packets and stuff and then deciding that he doesn't want to do that. But like, that's an important part of Marvel, because Marvel is based on real cities, real things, the involvement of the government. It's not as mythological as like DC, right? So you need that in the Marvel universe. Remember that a lot of the fun and the flavor and the way the stories went in the Infinity Saga had to do with the government, with people like Ross, like the president, Nick Fury, S.H.I.E.L.D., these government organizations. That's an important piece of the puzzle. And I thought Jake Schreier did a great job with that in Thunderbolts. The reason that's important is because the mutants versus the U.S. government is a tale as old as time. That's an important piece to how the mutants and how the X-Men should pop up within the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but it can't be this crazy, overtly political, real-world thing. It has to feel organic to the world of Marvel, and it should just be about fun over messaging. I know messaging is important, and particularly with the X-Men, of course, it's an allegory for civil rights, all of these different things, but just given the climate out there, and given, I think Marvel's leaning a little too far into certain things over the past couple of years, a director like Jake Schreier that, to me, handled these very things within Thunderbolts perfectly is the guy to do the X-Men movie. That's actually a really important piece of this, guys. The idea of the government versus the X-Men is like a really key part of the X-Men, and you want that handled well, and I think Jake Schreier is a perfect pick to do that. So to be honest with you, I'm pretty hyped up about this news, man. I'm hoping Thunderbolts has a good second weekend and makes some money, but honestly, even if it doesn't, this move here by Feige represents a true commitment to quality, and I think these characters, including the new Avengers characters and the X-Men that they're casting right now, if we get 3, 4, 5 years of really great story with those characters in good movies, Marvel could truly be back. That's all I've ever hoped for. Let's fucking go. Let me know what you think about this. Am I getting caught up in the hype once again, or am I nailing it like I always do? You let me know in the comment section below. And as I always say, I hope you are having an awesome and a nerdy day, and I'll see you in the next video.